Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's DLloyd. So today we have to talk about the Lakers and their head coaching search, and we have to talk about Darvin Ham and potentially why he was let go. So let's go ahead and start off with that. So I was one of the guys that thought Darvin Ham should have been let go as head coach. I do know that was somewhat controversial. Some people thought he should have stayed on as head coach and that maybe he was being the scapegoat. But after watching the Lakers for the majority of the season, I thought this was the right decision. Yes, I do think there were a couple of different factors in the playoffs as to why the Lakers lost, and ultimately the Lakers were never favorites in that series to begin with. So I don't want to hold that against Darvin Ham entirely too much, but of course you just can't shake the 20-point comeback where he refused to call timeouts. I don't want to blame all of that on Darvin Ham. However, what Darvin Ham did with the team from December through January, I think ultimately sealed his fate as head coach. When he decided that he was going to bench D'Angelo Russell, he was going to start Taurean Prince, he had lineups where he was starting Cam Reddish. Those, I think, were the decisions that ultimately led him to be released because people lost faith in his rotations, what he was doing with the starting lineups, of course the lack of timeouts in those games and in-game adjustments. It just really was not seen by the public. But I think one of the main reasons why he is gone is what reports were reporting a few days ago, and that is ultimately the trust from Anthony Davis pretty much dwindled, and AD did not trust that this was the right coach moving forward. So reports a few days ago coming out from the Athletic saying that the Lakers decided ultimately to let go of Darvin Ham because they thought if they kept Darvin Ham as head coach, there was a potential risk that Anthony Davis could ask out and demand a trade. And that is big news because of course we know what's happening with LeBron James. He is getting older. We know LeBron James has a finite amount of years left with the Lakers. Now, when it comes to Anthony Davis, he is supposed to be the guy that carries the Lakers past LeBron James, right? He is the guy that you now have to make decisions around because he is going to be there way longer than LeBron James will be there. He has that extension as well. He is the guy that you need to build around, and you need to ultimately keep him happy. So if he is not trusting in Darvin Ham, I think it is the correct decision to go ahead and move on from him, especially because not only AD not trusting him, we heard a lot of people in the locker room not trusting Darvin Ham, and of course a lot of the fan base has turned on Darvin Ham. So I think it's almost a win-win in that situation. Not so much a scapegoat, but ultimately you just need a new voice in that locker room, especially with a team like the Lakers where you're not trying to win 3-4 years from now. It's pretty much come in and win a championship now. It's an immediate job. You're trying to flip things around as quickly as possible. So not saying that you'll necessarily find a better coach, but you just need a new guy in. So moving on from Darvin Ham, I do not think was the worst decision in the world. I agreed with that decision, and now the Lakers are in the situation now where they have to find a new head coach. With that said, my favorite to replace him was going to be Budenholzer, but Budenholzer jumped on that Phoenix Suns job. So now the Lakers are looking at where do they want to go. Do they want to go with a veteran coach that has some type of experience? Now, there's not a ton of championship guys out there. So you're looking at a Kenny Atkinson as a maybe the most experienced guy that you could try to go get that can get the job done. Or on the flip side, you could go with a fresh green head coach and hope that he could build a solid bench with him, and the rest of the coaching staff can help elevate, and that's where you're looking at a JJ Redick. Now, according to Shams Charania, it looks like LeBron James is trying to stay out of the head coaching search. This morning on his show, Run It Back, he said, quote, "I'm told LeBron James is not involved in the Lakers head coaching search. James has made it clear that this is the organization's decision. He's had no conversations with the Lakers about JJ Redick." End quote. And the reason why JJ Redick's name is going to come up a ton, right? Because we know that he is a guy that the Lakers are interested in potentially bringing in. But on top of that, we also know LeBron James has some sort of relationship with JJ Redick now that they run their podcast together, that there is something potentially there. Now, with that said, we don't know how close, right, they are. Just because you're doing some work together does not mean that's your best friend, and it doesn't necessarily mean you want him to be the next head coach of your team. So you do have to consider that. But the the optics of it is going to be that maybe LeBron James is going to want his guy. And maybe it's not JJ Redick. Maybe that is not the guy he wants as head coach. You will still assume that LeBron James is going to want to have some type of input as who potentially his final head coach could be with the Lakers. Now, you do have to remember, LeBron James is probably going to opt out of his contract, so technically he will be an unrestricted free agent, which means he may not come back to the Lakers, but all expectations is he will come back and he will sign a 2 or 3 year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. So with all of that said, personally, I had to call cap on LeBron not having any involvement in this hiring. We have heard this almost every single time, but we know how involved LeBron James really is in all front office moves when it comes to trades, signings, firings, hirings of coaches. He has typically been involved with all of that. That's why he has the nickname GM. That didn't come out of nowhere. And now if you're telling me that in the final years of his career, all of a sudden he's just taking the back seat, wants no parts of it, that is hard to believe. Now, of course, maybe he's going through other players, maybe he's nudging guys in directions, but I do think he has some sort of pull. Now, I think ultimately though, the biggest influencer is going to be Anthony Davis. He's going to have the biggest impact because that is the guy that you have to please, you have to take care of, because that is going to be the long-term fit for the Lakers. But to say LeBron James doesn't have a say, I'm not buying that one. So here we are. We went through the combine. No head coach. You would assume the Lakers will want to get a head coach sooner rather than later. Draft in just a little over a month away. This needs to speed up. Who was going to be the guy for the Lakers? We will see the direction that they go. Honestly, I'm not that enthused with some of the guys that's out there. Of course, people really want Ty Lue. I just don't see Ty Lue becoming available. One, I think he has 1 year left on his deal. And then two, even if he was going to become available, I think just out of spite, the Clippers make sure they extend him or do not let him go this year. Make sure they reject all requests to interview him, because why would they allow him to go to the Lakers? Why? You want to make sure he either stays with you or he's going elsewhere that is not LA. So I don't think Ty Lue is going to be a realistic spot. Kenny Atkinson, is that the guy? Is that the guy that's going to come in and take this job? Now remember, this Lakers job, in my opinion, is not the greatest job to take in the world. When you come in, you have the expectation of winning right away. You also have the expectation that if you don't win in 2 or 3 seasons, you're probably going to be let go, and the Lakers will probably clear house and try to rebuild or try to figure something else out. So it's not a situation where longevity is guaranteed. And that's why I think it's one of those jobs that a lot of people may shy away from at the end of the day. Even with the talent there, I don't know if this roster is talented enough to win. And they're still in a tough spot. What is going to happen with D'Angelo Russell? Yes, you do have 3 draft picks that you can now trade, but D'Lo still holds the key to a lot of stuff for what the Lakers are able to do in this offseason. So no, I don't think it's the greatest job in the world, but the Lakers had to get somebody in, had to get somebody quickly. And still, even though it may not be the best job, the prestige of being Lakers head coach is something that a lot of people want. And if you could come in and get that spot, maybe you take the chance and see if you could be the guy that turns things around in LA. So you guys let me know what you guys think about this stuff in the comment section below. Do you think Anthony Davis just lost confidence in Darvin Ham? And do you agree with that report that maybe that is why Darvin Ham is no longer there? And do you believe that LeBron James has nothing to do with the Lakers head coaching search? I'm calling cap on that one, but you guys let me know your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. As usual, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, please do me a favor, go ahead and leave this video a like. It helps me out a lot, and subscribe if you haven't already. It's DLloyd. I'm see you next time. Peace.